All right, everybody, good afternoon and welcome on back. Continuing along our Wednesday, our lovely Wednesday afternoon here live in the Cybergroup Trading Room and, of course, streaming across social media, Facebook and YouTube alike, guys. Welcome on back. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. And you know what? For more of a lightning round edition, as I like to say sometimes this afternoon, that being, of course, we have class continuing this afternoon, our Phase 2 stock course, guys. For all of our students here live in our trading room, we'll look to post that link shortly after we're done with this meeting. But with that in mind, we'll run down the percent gainers and losers list very quickly here and build up our afternoon watch list. So great to see everybody joining us, though, here thus far in the trading room. Bonnie, Kathleen, Michael, Daniel, Mark, H, Leda, a pleasure as always. And I see a few comments already on social. So let's hop right into it, guys. The Dow up, as you could see, ended up pulling back shortly after the open, but made a huge bounce from that point and just made a little bit of a pop right at 2 o'clock here. So you could see a small little pop in the Dow where it jumped up just about 60, 70 points. But we ended up seeing a few stocks jump up with the Dow right then and there. So it's been a very action-packed day thus far. A lot of stocks just gapping up overnight with the market, pulled back, and it bounced back up with it. So let's go from top to bottom, just from the percent gainers and losers list. What we'll do is just scan the market and build up our afternoon watch list here. So for any of the others that moved, of course, that we traded and called out, we'll look to briefly go over those. But again, with class on the horizon at 3 p.m. Eastern time, I want to make sure all of our students here live in the trading room, myself, of course, just to prepare, get ready for class at 3. So GRNQ, and rather, although I know we're going lightning quick, reset my pre-market charting here as always. So GRNQ, very active in pre-market here leading into the open. It was a bit of a dud, at least for the first couple of hours, but ended up making a sudden pop from basically 140 support, ran right through 160, got halted a couple of times there on the way up, blasted right through 2, moved all the way up towards the high there, 250. And as you could see, at least thus far, it squeezed back up there heading into the afternoon, a lower high. So for a GRNQ that's up as much as it is, that's already made as big of a run up as it's made, we normally don't tend to see this make a second big squeeze going into the close. Don't mind coming back to this just at the very end of this meeting, at least just to see where it's at. I could be wrong at times with that, but typically based on the pattern for such a big move up going into the morning or early afternoon, I wouldn't expect continuation as big as what we saw here. So if it pops, great, just I wouldn't expect this type of move. So we'll come back to this one at least. Nice run, at least from the late morning. Now, Hertz. Now, Fausto hit it big on this Hertz trade, as did a lot of us here live in the trading room. This was a stock that we were featuring in pre-market, that we were heavily focused on right at 9:30. And, not every trade ends up making as clean of a pop right off the bat or, as, steady of a move up. But when we end up having the break above resistance, when we are following the trend, the momentum, and of course, as we like to say, the smart money, we put ourselves in positions that give us a much better chance than not to retain a profit just right off the bat. So if you leave money on the table, well, for any of our newly enrolled students here joining us, and we'll cover that in class here just this afternoon, that's one of the best problems that you could ever approach us with. And here's the line that I like to say in regards to that. If you're leaving a lot of money on the table, well, there's a reason why we say we're leaving money on the table, because we're at least taking some money off the table to begin with. So for any of our students that jumped in with Fausto here, you guys did really well. But, hey, if you're sitting there thinking, well, why didn't I hold? Why didn't I jump back in? We live and we learn, first off, but secondly, for a stock like Hertz, that made such a big, drop off overnight, and just, from the last month and a half, just with the bankruptcy, all of the bad press and news. I know that not many of us, or not many, but rather, I know a few of us were a little timid to jump in just based on the, negative news just across Hertz. But we have to go with the smart money and the momentum. We ended up seeing shorts cover, perhaps day traders like us just across the world buying, and ran up nicely. But like I was saying before, or as I was going to say, the volume dies off quick. So for as nice of a run up as we had, unfortunately, dumped right back down. So it pulled back down to $1. It bounced pretty nicely from there, mind you, but it's trading so much damn volume right now, guys. So I'd say that we're not going to focus on this, at least, to begin the afternoon. If there's nothing moving from the afternoon list and this ends up inching its way up, perhaps we'll put focus on it, just given the big range across the last week or so. But with the amount of volume it's trading, I feel like we'll find better opportunity elsewhere. MRSN. I mean, this one, I'd say this is very heavily traded compared to its average shown on the daily chart, but 26 million shares across the day. This thing took off on a life of its own from 15, essentially the breakout level, all the way up towards just about 1850, and it pulled back a bit since. So, this one is easy for me to put on the list. I'm not going to say it's an easy trade. It was a very strong breakout earlier from the 15 level. Just got to be careful, though. The spread could open up at times on this trade. It's fluctuating right now between 1 to 5 cents loosely, and you have some thinness on the order book, some smaller, tinier orders across the bid and the ask. So it makes it easier for the stock to move up and down. But as of right now, though, guys, just be careful on this. We'll put this on our watch list, easily, but I'd focus on like 50-cent levels, whole numbers for a trade like this, just given the range it built across the day. All right, let me expand the scanners here. There we go. ASNA. So I was going to get to this one pretty quickly. Nice steady trend on the way up towards 2. This one, much like, a lot of stocks across the last 2 months have dropped off extensively. And for what it's worth, it's seeing this near the highs going into the close. I'll put this on our list. It's pretty shaky around 2. I'm not just referring to one pop. I'm referring to a couple I think I see here. Yeah, pop 2, pulled back. Pop 2, pulled back. It's cutting through that level a little bit. So need to make sure we have some volume on the offer there at 2. And if it ends up breaking through it, perhaps the next time we'll see the big squeeze that we're hoping for. So I'll put this on our list. Just that's the setup that I'm focused on for right now. Jill, this thing's at the high of the day. I called this out earlier. Benzinga Pro alerted me off the pop here to begin. Nice little trade. Near the highs. I do like that. Fran breaking a new high, FRAN. We've traded the stock on and off, and not even referring to the last month and a half or so, but more so, just more off than on, but over the last 2 years, really, you could see right here, big gap up, run up, and at the time, I don't know if this is factoring in reverse splits. I know that Fran's been split over and over before, so this could have been factored in with the split, the price that is, but either way, nice steady trend breaking a new high right now. Bit of a spread. Be careful here. It's not necessarily level 1. It's moving up nicely, but for what it's worth, just be a little mindful of the spread. We'll focus on this definitely going into the afternoon, though. The FRAN. All right, cool. So I'm seeing a couple of posts, guys, and alerts from Benzinga on a few stocks, just not the cheaper ones. So we'll get to those in just a moment. MU, CAR, there's a lot of stuff moving up very nicely right now with the market at this point in the day. TGI will kind of just keep on the side for right now. SINT, S-I-N-T, this had a big pop going into the mid to late morning. Ended up just taking off from 70 cents up towards 85, and nice trade again. Just for as big of a move as we caught, I'm not expecting a second clean run going into the close. NK, I got alerted from Benzinga right off the bat here from 525-ish when it made the first pop. We caught this when this was making the push up towards 6, I believe, here at the time, $5.86, and from there moved up extremely well. Just again, the run is done. It seems like it's just pretty range bound, not doing as much, volume crapped out. This LK trade was pretty good to us in the morning, at least. Pretty short-lived run, unfortunately. So it goes to show that sometimes just these stocks begin to die off a little bit sooner than we would expect for them to. With LK, we ended up seeing this make a clean move from basically 270, 275 resistance up towards 3. So for what it's worth, again, nice trade, at least from level to level. Failed to break that major $3 resistance, and it came down pretty hard right now, though. It seems like it's beginning to build back up. I'd say this is similar to Hertz in the sense of volume, 146 million shares total across the day. What I like about this compared to Hertz is the significance of the gap on the daily chart here. A month and a half ago, that is, just seeing some funky gap here just when it was suspended from trading. But, I'm going to watch LK at least just, tomorrow, Friday. I wouldn't expect for this to make a second huge move. It did hold support very nicely, so that's a great sign. But as of now, I'd still say this is in the process of making yet another lower high, maybe pulling back down again. So I'm not too convinced yet to just put this on the list for the afternoon, but definitely a great side list stock to keep in mind. All right, a couple stocks, like I said, moving up still at this point pretty nicely in the day. Macy's being one of them. Macy's, Nordstrom, Kohl's, the department stores, I should say, all doing a pretty good job. Macy's, really, I have to say, this was a huge dud from yesterday as far as the setup going into the afternoon. We were watching this throughout the morning, and it treated us very nicely across the day, but failed to break out above major level 625 at the time. Well, with the market, just, I guess department stores squeezing up, in particular, getting ready to reopen up. But, really nice run up once again for Macy's. And again, we'll touch upon Kohl's and Nordstrom here too. Kohl's on the way up to 22. I like this, a lot, this trade. This Kohl's trade on the way up towards 22 resistance. JWN, similar, right? So I'd be inclined to just put department stores, those three in particular, just on our list. What was that last one? JWN. Maybe check in like on Urban Outfitters, perhaps. I know that one tends to trade some volume at times. Nice little inch up. Not up as much as the others, I'd say. So for right now, I will put those three on our main list. Those are three that we are fairly familiar with, at least Macy's and Kohl's. JWN as well, a little pricier, but we'll focus on all three together here. And then another one I got pinged on Benzinga just before, CAR, CAR Avis budget. So with Hertz, the activity going on Hertz, we're seeing Avis make a really strong move up, at least thus far this afternoon. So I'll put this on our list, certainly, just based on the trend. The tight spread for right now, or not too tight, but not too big. Just steady trend moving up alongside a lot of the others. So this one we'll focus on here too, CAR. All right. What else here from the gainer side, at least? Dave and Buster's Play, familiar name. Ooh, nice trend on this one. This one's doing pretty good on the way up to 14. All right, so we put Play on our list. I feel this could very well end up being a classic Josh 20 stock watch list, guys. I was going to make that joke with Fausto earlier this morning when he posted. I think it was a pretty big list, but rightfully so, with everything up and moving and active. Provides great opportunity for us day traders. Just we always try and find the opportunity in some trades at the same time. And this is where Fausto has, much more experience than me in this. He keeps it simple oftentimes, whereas I, oftentimes put out a larger list. And with a larger list, it's a little bit more difficult to try and consolidate to a smaller group and to not be as overwhelmed with as much moving. So let's see. We have 3, 6, 7, 8 on our list thus far. Let's see if there's anything on the loser side, although everything's up. Could be a couple stocks down big. Skip ahead to mRNA, maybe. Man, look at the range on this stock today, from pre-market highs around 58 down to the low of the day at 56 today, or 46 for that matter, and squeezed all the way back up to like 52, 53 bucks. So, man, this mRNA, very well tradable, it's shortable. A little expensive. So, I always tend to say this for like the more level 4 to 5 stocks. If you've kept this on your side list, you know who you are. And when I say that, I should really more so mean if you're consistently making money on mRNA, it doesn't have to be every trade, but much more often than not, if you're profiting on this stock, you know who you are. Then keep it on your list then, certainly. But for anyone else, I'd rather you focus on just anything that's moving with the market, anything on a steadier trend up or down. Michaels, I wanted to just shout out Michaels earlier. Kathleen was calling this one out just before she picked up some good money on this trade. It did very nicely once again, broke out shortly after the open and ended up making a new high later on going into the afternoon at 4. I feel like the run is done on this trade for right now, so we'll pass. All right, we got Micron RCL. Let's definitely go to Micron. I want to go to Penn National Gaming too. PENN, just go to MU and Penn. MU, big pop. So what was the news that came out, guys, on Micron? I'll post here. I didn't know if anyone knew off the top of their head. I can just go on Benzinga here. Obviously, a huge reaction to go from 45 to near 49 right now. Whole bunch of options activity so far. I see. Show strong guidance. That was it. Okay. And I'll copy and paste that. I remember Ben posted the news just earlier off the breakout. So I just posted the news in the chat board. I'll post it across social media here as well, just in relation to Micron, the big pop. It was in relation to guidance. Either way, just ended up making a huge breakout. We traded this off of 48 recently and on the way up towards the next whole number, it seems like right now. So yeah, easy for us to say. We'll put this on our list. Hopefully it maintains a steady trend for us to follow. Micron, we'll look at Penn National Gaming. And then really, if there's anything else, guys, just let me know here in the chat board. All right, so Penn up big once again today. I think there was an analyst upgrade, price target up to 32, ended up moving up towards there and higher. Just very active stock. This would be a great stock just to put on the list, given the activity, how much it's up, the fact it is shortable in case it goes the other way, right? So, it's very similar to NCLH in that regards. I love trading NCLH still. It's one of my favorites. Shortable stock. It has a tight spread, moves with the market very nicely. We did very well on it, of course, yesterday and this morning on the way down. Right now, I'm not going to put NCLH just on the main list. It seems very tradable still at this point, but I feel like Penn's just a little bit more active, a little bit more volatile perhaps at this point. All right, Fran's already breaking a new high, guys, on the way up towards well, damn near 4. You have a 12,369 share order on the ESC sitting at 4, just for the Fran trade here. All right, guys, so if there's anything else, let me know. I feel like we're pretty much good to go, though. Let's see. We now have in total 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stocks. Not terrible for me, right? Sometimes I'll put 13, 14, 15 stocks on the list. So 10, that's not too bad. Oh, I'll tell you what, I was pretty happy I got out of a trade on Tilray just before. Jeez, I was upset at first because it looked like it was going to run back up on me. Holy smokes. We called Tilray out going into the afternoon. I was going to get to this. I was going to put this on our list, but it seems like I'm not going to now. It seems like it's going the complete other direction. There's some news out there, guys, in relation to some interest with federal regulation of just marijuana. So, former Attorney General, other politicians. That's just the little snippet that I got from Benzinga Pro. Ended up making a nice pop, at least Tilray, that is. Unfortunately, though, dumped back down. So I was ready to trade this off of 11. I got in from 1086. I ended up closing my trade at 1086. It popped up to 11, and I thought, crap, I left some money on the table. Well, I'm pretty thankful that I got out where I did, because this thing just dumped right back down and broke lower. So I was very excited to put Tilray on the list, but here we are, and for right now, we're going to hold off. All right. Anything else, guys? BBBY maybe? Nope. All right, I think we're good, guys. So 10 stocks on this list to begin. For all of our silver, gold, platinum, diamond students here live in the trading room, I will look to post the picks. And then from there, I'll look to post the link for class coming up this afternoon. Once more, guys, phase 2, lesson 2. We'll be talking about preparing to trade the morning watch lists pretty much every day. The title of the class is Anticipating to Trade the Market Open. So I certainly look forward to it. I look forward to seeing all of you guys there. For all of our members just streaming across social media, if you'd like to learn more about what we offer here at CTU, whether it be the online trading room or the online classroom that I'm referring to, just make sure that you guys call the phone number down below on the banner, and one of our education advisors will gladly look to pick up and provide more detail. All right, guys, aside from that, for those of you not joining class, at least in the trading room, I know that Rich and Fausto will be taking over the commentary and the screen. So let's try and make some money going into the end of the day. And for those of us joining us in class, I look forward to seeing you guys there. Take care.